He's Peter King from Sports Illustrated and Football Night in America. You can go to SI.com, his Monday morning quarterback. And Peter's set to join us now. What kind of risk are the Niners taking with Peyton Manning and Alex Smith right now, Pete?
Well, I think the risk that I'm sure they knew about at the time, Dan, was that they knew that if they had to keep their quarterback job open without signing Alex Smith for a week to 10 days, they knew that the competitor that Alex Smith was, that there was a chance that they could lose him. And I believe they fully understood that chance and thought that that it was too important an opportunity to try to get Peyton Manning to not go through with it. So they decided to do that.
But if you're San Francisco, don't you have to have an inkling that Manning's going there? Because if you lose Alex Smith, what is plan B here?
Probably Josh Johnson and maybe Matt Hasselbeck. I don't know. But I think, look, it's almost the same situation that the Buffalo Bills were in with Mario Williams. If you go after him and don't get him, you are going to. It's different in that in Buffalo you're killing your fan base and you're disappointing everybody to an almost terminal basis. But it's the same in that it's almost like a nothing ventured, nothing gained deal. I think that Harbaugh and Balky in San Francisco would always have wondered, we never even picked up the phone and tried to get Manning. And I still think the odds are, even though I could be wrong in 15 minutes, Dan, I still think the odds are that Smith swallows his anger and hangs on and waits and then goes back to San Francisco because he knows he has a far better chance to be a good player than if he goes to Miami.
But if Peyton Manning is there?
Well, I mean, obviously he's not going to San Francisco if Peyton Manning's there, but I'm saying that how can he know that right now?
Yeah, but I don't want Alex Smith if I'm the Dolphins. I'm fine with Matt Moore. I
agree with you. I'm not paying Alex Smith $8 million a year with a lot of it front-loaded when I have Matt Moore there. I don't think it's a smart decision. I'd just stay with Matt Moore if I were them and hope that if Ryan Tannehill is the guy I want in the draft, hope he's there at number 8.
How did the Dolphins screw this up? Or did they screw this up with Peyton Manning?
I don't think Manning ever really wanted to go there. I mean, Peyton Manning, Dan, is looking for a place to win a Super Bowl sometime in the next 2 years. Would you go to Miami if that was your hope?
No.
I don't think anybody would, just because you're in a really tough division. The division just got incredibly better with Mario Williams chasing you twice a year. I wouldn't go to Miami. I don't think Miami screwed up. I never thought they had much of a chance anyway.
Well, I looked at it.
I will say this. The way that I thought they had a chance right at the beginning is, and I thought they were going to be the number one team in this. It's because they were going to do everything, money-wise, Reggie Wayne-wise, anything that Manning wanted them to do, they were going to do. And that's what I thought was important to Manning. But at the end of the day, it wasn't all that so much as he wants the absolute best opportunity in a place that can fit him to go to the Super Bowl in the next 2 years.
I don't know if this is happening, but this was the feeling I had when Tennessee all of a sudden emerged as one of the top 3 candidates along with Denver and San Francisco. Bud Adams strikes me as the kind of guy saying, Peyton, I'm going to take care of you if you know what I mean. And that is while you're playing and then when you're done. How delicate is that kind of language, if it would even exist, for a team to say or an owner to say, there's more to my offer than this?
It's absolutely illegal. And if there was ever any nudge, wink, wink deal that swayed Peyton Manning to go to Tennessee, I will guarantee you the NFL will come down on Bud Adams with a gigantic hammer, and it won't be a velvet hammer, because that would violate the spirit of the salary cap in a very big way.
Yeah, I was curious about that. Peter King from Sports Illustrated, Monday morning quarterback, must read at SI.com. I like the Seahawks going after Matt Flynn for this reason. The guaranteed money is not Kevin Kolb or Matt Castle money. And I think there's a risk there, but I think there's also the potential for a reward there. Your thoughts?
If I asked you if a guy who was an intriguing prospect, intriguing capital I, who the 2 times he played, he gave New England everything it could handle in the first start of his NFL career on the road in Foxborough. And then in a year when the quarterback numbers went absolutely out of sight, of all the 258 games that were played in the NFL in 2011, Matt Flynn had the best individual game of any quarterback all season. Set a Packer record with 6 touchdowns, threw for 480 yards. That's an intriguing prospect.
Yeah.
And if I told you that you needed a quarterback of the future desperately, and the minimum or the investment that you're going to have to make is $13 million in Matt Moore over a 2-year period just to see if you were right, I think it's a no-brainer myself.
Yeah, I'd like them getting him. Here's another thing. I know that Mike Wallace is still out there. Does San Francisco have enough room to bring in Mike Wallace, or do you see him playing someplace else?
I think if San Francisco lost, let's look at this scenario. The 2 quarterbacks, your 1 and 2 quarterbacks in training camp next year are Josh Johnson and Colin Kaepernick. You've basically saved about $6 million on your cap by not having Alex Smith on your team.
Yeah.
If that is the scenario, if you don't have Manning and you've lost Alex Smith, I think the 49ers would consider going after Mike Williams. Because not to say that he solves your quarterback problem, he doesn't. But when you get a quarterback next year, or when one of these 2 guys steps up, by the time he does, you're going to have a guy with 8 years of his prime left who's going to be a number 1 receiver for you. I have been surprised, Dan, that nobody goes after him, seeing that you probably only have to pay him a front-loaded deal averaging about $7 million a year to get him. And if you've got a low first-round pick and you're going to take a wide receiver anyway, why wouldn't you take a sure thing?
What's the latest on the Saints, who seem to benefit from Peyton Manning mania and March Madness?
Well, I mean, if you're the Saints, if you're the NFL, dealing with this Redskins-Cowboys cap nightmare, you're happy because basically what you've done is you have buried what are some ugly headlines because everybody's excited about Manning. Everybody's excited about, the NCAA tournament. It's, until Roger Goodell steps to the podium and hands out Saints penalties, which I still think will probably be sometime this week, everybody's preoccupied with other stuff.
When I talk to you a week from now, Peyton Manning will be where?
I don't know. I mean, let's pick a name. I really don't know. I really don't know.
That's good.
I wish I could say, yeah, he's going to San Francisco.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, as I wrote this morning, I think he might be dealing with a circle of 1 when he's thinking about where he's going. I just, he's kept this so tight, Dan, and I think that's for a reason. I think he wants to control all of this. And when he knows a couple hours later, I think the rest of us will know.
I don't know if you ever noticed this. Quarterbacks named Matt or Matthew, who have at least 1 start since 2005. Matt Castle, Matt Flynn, Matt Gutierrez, Matt Hasselbeck, Matt Leinart, Matt Mock, Matt Moore, Matt Ryan, Matt Schaub, and Matthew Stafford.
That's a lot of Matts.
And you got Matt Barkley coming into the league next year.
Wow, and on that happy note, is that my welcome Matt out of here?
Good to talk to you, Peter.
All right, Dan, take care.
Peter King, Sports Illustrated. Now that's an honest insider.